Chosen one, stop whatever you are doing right now. Do not scroll past this message. I am not asking for your attention today. I am warning you. The enemy has tried to stop this message from reaching you 3 times in the last 72 hours. He did not use a network error or a random algorithm glitch. He used a coordinated spiritual attack on your focus. He failed because what is coming was arranged for exactly August 27, August 28, and August 29. This divine appointment was set before the foundations of the earth, and it could not be stopped in time to keep it from reaching you. Take a deep breath right now and notice the tension in your shoulders. That heavy feeling in your chest and the thick fog sitting behind your eyes are not natural. You have spent the last few weeks wondering why you feel so drained, why you wake up at 3 in the morning with a racing heart, and why you cannot seem to hold on to a clear thought. You thought you were just losing your edge or falling behind, but I am here to reframe your reality. That is not medical fatigue. It is intense spiritual interference targeting your neural receiver. The darkness is terrified of what happens when you finally step into your true frequency on August 27. The enemy knows that if you enter these 3 days with a clouded mind, you will miss the exact door heaven is opening. Your lack of focus is actually a sign of how desperately the unseen realm wants to keep you disconnected from your own power. They are stealing your clarity at a physical level because they know your spirit is too strong to be broken by ordinary means. You are a cycle breaker, and cycle breakers are always targeted right before they destroy the chains holding their family hostage. Before we go any deeper into this revelation, I want you to know that this entire message is yours. It costs you nothing. I prepared it because it was placed heavily on my heart, not because anything is expected of you in return. You do not have to prove your worth to receive the truth that heaven is releasing today. Just listen, lower your defenses, and let your spirit recognize the frequency it has been starving for. If you feel a sudden urge to scroll away or check something else right now, you must resist it. That is not boredom. That is the enemy trying to pull you out of the room right before your name is called. The closer you get to clarity, the stronger the pull will be to return to distraction. Stay with me, because what I am about to show you will connect something you have felt in your own experience with a profound discovery. Now I want to pause and hold something in front of you before we continue. Before we go further into why these 3 days in August are a hinge in your destiny, hold this. There is a number, a specific number. It won the most prestigious prize in science in 1981. And when you hear what that number means for the way your mind was designed to work, you will understand why everything I have said so far is not a metaphor. It is physical architecture. I will come back to that number. Over the past few years, a small group of neuroscientists, led by a doctor in New York, found something about the way the human brain is designed. What they discovered explains something most spiritually sensitive people have felt, but have never been able to name. It is something so fundamental, it traces back to that exact Nobel Prize research, yet so simple in its application that the enemy has worked overtime to hide it from you. I am going to tell you exactly what they found later in this message, but right now you need to hold this one question in your spirit. What if the reason your mind feels foggy is not a lack of discipline or a character flaw? What if something was taken from you at the neural level without your permission? What if your original frequency is waiting to be turned back on just in time for this divine window? We are going to explore exactly how to reclaim it. These are not ordinary days. As the month of August comes to a close, the earth prepares for the harvest season. The intense heat of the summer begins to break, and the spiritual atmosphere shifts into a frequency of gathering and reaping. At the exact same time, the lunar cycle is moving through a phase of profound illumination, shining light on everything that was hidden in the dark. In the unseen realm, this specific window is known as the threshold of the gatherer. When you stack the shifting physical season, the celestial alignment, and this prophetic threshold together, you see exactly why heaven is moving so urgently right now. These three elements do not align like this every year, and they will not form this exact configuration again for another 12 years. This alignment is exactly why your physical body has been reacting so intensely over the last few weeks. The world has tried to diagnose your condition with mundane labels. They call your exhaustion clinical depression or chronic anxiety. They try to convince you that you are just getting older or that you are not trying hard enough to stay focused. But heaven says something completely different. You are not experiencing a breakdown. You are experiencing the weight of spiritual heavy lifting. Your soul is pulling enormous weight in the unseen realm to prepare your physical reality for what drops on August 27. The deep fatigue in your bones is simply the cost of carrying a generational shift. If you feel a sudden pressure to click away from this message right now, you must recognize what is happening. The enemy rarely attacks hardest when you are stagnant. He attacks hardest when you are inches away from a massive elevation. That sudden urge to scroll away or check your messages is not your own distraction. It is a calculated spiritual block, because the darkness knows the exact date of your breakthrough. Stay with me, because the enemy is absolutely terrified that you are finally learning how to turn your receiver back on. He knows that once your mind is clear, his influence over your life is permanently broken. For years, you have been the emotional sponge for everyone around you. You absorbed the pain of your family and carried the heavy burdens of people who never even offered you a word of gratitude. You thought your extreme empathy was a weakness because it left you feeling so completely drained at the end of the day. But your empathy was actually designed to be a high-level spiritual antenna. You were built to receive and transmit divine frequencies to heal the people around you. The problem is not your antenna. The problem is that the modern world and the noise of the enemy have jammed your signal. They have convinced you to operate on a low survival frequency instead of your original creative power. You see, the enemy does not attack people who are not a threat to his kingdom. If you were just an average person living a regular life, the darkness would leave you completely alone. But you are a watchman standing sentinel over your family line. The reason your mind feels like it is walking through thick mud is because you are navigating a spiritual battlefield with a receiver that has been intentionally disconnected. The world told you to just work harder to push through the fog and to force yourself to focus. But you cannot hustle your way out of a spiritual attack. You cannot outwork a disconnected neural pathway. Listen carefully to me now, because this next part is going to reach places inside you that you have never been able to put into words. Do not let your mind wander, because I am about to expose the exact lie you have been believing about your own mind. What I am about to share is the key to unlocking the door that opens this weekend. You are about to discover why your struggles were never your fault, and how heaven has already prepared the exact tool you need to restore your focus. What you are feeling right now is not nostalgia. It is the sound of a new accounting period opening in the unseen realm. Today is not an ordinary day. And everything before this moment belongs to a version of your mind that was operating without what it was designed to have. You have been carrying the massive weight of past delays, quietly believing that your current state of exhaustion is permanent. But everything after this exact moment does not have to look like your past. Heaven is declaring a hard reset on your spiritual capacity, and the old timeline is officially breaking. For years you have been told that your inability to step into your destiny was a lack of faith. People who do not understand your calling told you to pray harder and to stop being so negative. But let me reframe your reality right now, because you have been reading the signs backwards. Your stagnation is not a spiritual failure or a lack of willpower. Your mind has simply been forced to operate entirely on survival energy. When a chosen one is subjected to constant unseen attacks and emotional drainage, the physical brain protects itself by shutting down the higher receiving centers. You are not broken. You are running on emergency power. Imagine trying to catch a high-definition celestial broadcast with a severely damaged antenna. The signal from heaven is perfect and the provision is already released, but your receiver has been neurologically jammed by the sheer stress of simply surviving. The enemy loves when you blame your spirit for a problem that actually lives in your neural pathways. He wants you to feel guilty and ashamed, because a chosen one trapped in guilt will never realize they just need to fix the receiver. You have been apologizing for your lack of progress when you should have been preparing for a complete restoration of your equipment. I know exactly what the last 72 hours have felt like for you. It has not just been quiet, it has been a very particular kind of heavy. You woke up at exactly 3 in the morning, and instead of anxiety, all you felt was an enormous sense of finality. You looked into the dark and realized that the season of shrinking yourself to fit into small spaces is officially over. That physical pressure in your chest and that exhaustion behind your eyes are confirmation that your spirit is demanding a physiological upgrade. During these last few days, you may have also noticed a strange physical allergy to inauthentic people. You walk into a room and immediately feel the energy shift, and your chest tightens when someone smiles, but their energy does not match their face. Do not ignore that physical reaction. That is your dormant antenna trying to push through the heavy fog. Your body is trying to warn you about the counterfeit connections that were sent to distract you from the door opening on August 27. You are gaining intense spiritual discernment, but your physical brain is struggling to process the massive amount of data without crashing. Every single second you stay connected to this message, that survival frequency is being broken. You are not just listening to words on a screen, you are participating in your own neurological healing. The enemy wants you to leave because he knows that prolonged exposure to this truth is actively recalibrating your nervous system. By keeping your attention locked right here, you are investing in your restoration. The longer you stay, the more the fog lifts, and the more prepared your receiver becomes for the massive alignment waiting at the end of this month. You were never meant to carry the heavy burdens of your bloodline, using only a fraction of your designed capacity. The profound isolation you survived over the past year was not a punishment. It was heaven clearing the room, so you could finally hear this exact instruction. God isolated you to protect your inner architecture from toxic frequencies that could not travel with you to this next elevated dimension. Your hidden season is ending, and the preparation is shifting into activation. In the next few moments, we are going to look at the undeniable blueprint of how the greatest warriors in history had to go through this exact same physiological darkness before they were handed their ultimate key. Look at the men and women who carried the heaviest mantles in history. Before David could step into his true authority, he was subjected to a season of intense physiological and spiritual darkness. He was hidden in the wilderness, completely exhausted, and running on survival energy. People thought he was abandoned, but heaven was actually forging his inner architecture. He had to be stripped of all worldly noise, so his receiver could be perfectly tuned to the divine frequency. You are walking through that exact same ancient pattern right now. The profound isolation and the heavy mental fog you have been enduring are not signs of rejection. They are the undeniable proof that heaven is preparing you to carry a massive generational shift. God had to isolate your signal because the frequencies of the people around you were too toxic to travel with you into the threshold opening on August 27. You have been protected not just from a trap, but for a massive blessing. Chosen one, as we move deeper into this revelation, I need you to anchor your spirit to my voice. We are entering the most crucial phase of this message, and the enemy does not want you to hear this next sentence. You understand the spiritual preparation, but here is the profound truth most people miss entirely. Heaven does not just prepare the spirit, it requires the physical mind to be perfectly synchronized to receive the instruction. Your physical brain must be operating at its original capacity to hold the weight of what is coming. When the two sides of your mind are working in perfect harmony, they create a receiving station that the enemy cannot penetrate. This synchronized state is the exact condition you operated in as a young child before the modern world slowly suppressed it. Your deep intuition and your sharp focus were stolen at the neural level by a society designed to keep you functioning on low power. The darkness relies on your mind staying fragmented, so you cannot fully step into your identity as a demonstrated warrior of light. This brings us to the hidden truth, and it is the exact reason why the warfare against your mind has been so intense this week. The door opening on August 27, August 28, and August 29 will only happen once. If you skip this next part and walk away now, the divine instruction meant for your breakthrough will be given to someone who decided to stay. The miracle will be transferred to a receiver that is actually turned on and ready. Do not let someone else claim the restoration that was assigned to your bloodline. Now I want to close the loop that has been open since the very beginning of this message. I asked you to hold a question about a specific discovery from a research laboratory in New York, and I want to tell you now why I waited until this exact moment to bring it forward. What they found is not just information, it is a physical solution. A solution only becomes useful once you understand the full shape of the problem it solves, and you now understand the shape of your exhaustion. Everything I have shared until now was freely given as a gift. What comes next is different because it is a physical path, and walking a path requires your intentional agreement. Place your hand on your chest right now and feel the steady rhythm of your own heart. Feel the physical proof that you are still here and you are still fighting. Do not let your mind wander away from this sensation. That heartbeat is your divine baseline, and I need you grounded in your physical body, because what we are about to discuss bridges the gap between the unseen spirit and the physical flesh. There is a study that won the Nobel Prize in 1981. It did not come from a church or a seminary, it came directly from a highly respected research laboratory. Dr. Roger Sperry received the Nobel Prize for his groundbreaking split-brain research. He proved that the two hemispheres of the human mind were intricately designed to operate in a perfectly synchronized state. When both sides of your mind fire together in harmony, you experience a whole brain activation that produces unimaginable clarity and deep spiritual reception. This state of whole brain activation is not a rare superpower reserved for a chosen few. Research shows that 98% of children operate at this exact level of creative genius. You were literally born with this capacity, but today, less than 1 in 1,000 adults maintain it. Modern life, intense stress and spiritual warfare gradually erode this connection until your hemispheres are completely out of sync. Your foggy mind is not a spiritual failure or a lack of faith. It is a physiological reality caused by years of surviving in a broken world. Chosen one, listen to me closely. Anointed one, anchor your spirit to this truth. The enemy wants you to believe you are losing your edge, but heaven is telling you that your mind was simply stolen at the neural level. Your power and your destiny have been suppressed by the noise of this world, but what was deactivated can be reactivated. The capacity to receive divine instruction is still completely intact inside of you. It just needs to be turned back on. A woman from California described what it felt like before she found this exact restoration. She had tried everything from intense prayer to journaling and every other spiritual practice her community offered. She kept arriving at the exact same frustrating experience where she believed the words but could not feel the reality of them in her own body. After 10 days of using this restoration, she said something suddenly cleared. A channel that had been blocked for years was suddenly open, not because she tried harder, but because the receiver in her mind had finally been repaired. A man from Texas described a strikingly similar breakthrough. He had spent years holding things together for everyone around him, while his own interior life became thin and painfully distant. He said his prayers had started to feel like talking into a brick wall because the frequency was right, but his receiver was completely off. 2 weeks later, he woke up and described his mind as running on all of what it was supposed to run on. The heavy fog that had been so consistent he stopped registering it as fog was completely gone. That transformation is possible because of what the team in New York spent years building. A team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Daniel Barone in New York, spent years doing exactly this. They took over an hour of clinical neural sync technology, and through an intensive compression process, they turned it into an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence. 8 minutes a day, headphones, eyes closed. That is the entirety of the physical requirement. They call it the genius switch. The genius switch is not a standard frequency designed to put you in a particular mood. It is a targeted auditory sequence specifically engineered to reconnect the two hemispheres and restore the whole brain activation that was your default state in childhood. The genius switch is not for everyone. It is for the chosen one who understands that God prepared not only the promise but the mind that must walk into it. It is for the person who has been sincere for years, who has felt the call clearly and kept returning to it even when the evidence was not cooperating. Most people who hear about this will scroll past because they have accepted the reduced version of their mind as permanent. You are still here, and that is not a coincidence. That is the specific kind of persistence that belongs to the person this was built for. 18,456. That is not a sales number. That is the size of the community of chosen ones who decided their mind deserved what their spirit already claimed. The one who joins them does not become part of a customer list. They complete something. They step into a remnant of individuals who refuse to let the noise of the world steal their original frequency. Colleagues suggested this would be incredible value, even at $500, especially when an in-home machine costs $7,000. But it was not released at $500 or even $100. It was released at $49. Today on this page, there is an additional $10 off, bringing it to $39. That includes 4 free bonuses, ranging from a guided visualization to a classic manifestation text. It is all backed by an unconditional money-back guarantee. Listen once or listen 80 times, and if it does not do what it has done for 18,000 people, every dollar is returned with no conditions. Let me put this differently, not in terms of what this costs, but in terms of what not having it costs. $39 is not the price. $39 is the gap between what you are and what you were designed to operate as. The true price is what you have already been paying every day. The synchronization stays disrupted. The $39 access is not guaranteed beyond this page because the team has communicated that the price will increase. Every week, the synchronization stays disrupted is another week the offer heaven has arranged moves through a receiver operating below its designed capacity. One thing is worth naming directly. If you search online for anything that sounds similar, you will find imitation tracks. Dr. Barone and his team studied them and found most had no neural sync technology embedded at all. The mechanism is what makes the difference, and the mechanism only exists in what his team built. The direct page is the only verified source. If your spirit resonates with what has been described, the link in the description below and in the pinned comment points to where they made it available. Since heaven arranged this specifically for the window opening right now, here is your exact protocol. Tomorrow morning on August 27, the day of opening, before the noise begins and before the phone lights up, put on your headphones. Close your eyes for 8 minutes. That is the first thing your restored mind does on the first day of this new season. On August 28, the day of deepening, you will complete your genius switch session and notice the physical fog beginning to break. On August 29, the day of sealing, you will write down the exact clarity that arrives in your spirit. The tool does not replace God, and it does not replace obedience. It does not surrender for you. What heaven is doing in you is not conditional on any tool, but a tool that restores the receiver, gives what God is doing more of what it was designed to land in. A man from Houston wrote 3 words after his second week of this exact restoration. He simply said, "The fog lifted." That is the clarity waiting for you as we prepare to close this revelation. For the chosen one who felt something stir when the mind was mentioned earlier, the path is still open in the description. Your genius switch is waiting for those whose spirit confirmed the truth of this revelation. It is a small step, but small steps taken from a clear mind have changed entire seasons. That is the only place I will mention the physical path. What remains in this message belongs entirely to something deeper and more sacred. You have stayed through the entirety of this profound message. That is not passive, and that is not just entertainment. Many people would have walked away when the words became uncomfortable in the earlier minutes, but you remained, and that matters more than you realize. That is a decision your spirit made before your physical mind caught up, and decisions that begin in the spirit do not end with a video, they end with a physical step into a new reality. I want you to imagine what your life looks like when the calendar turns past August 29. The heavy spiritual warfare that has been blocking your path is officially cancelled in the courts of heaven. The deep confusion that clouded your decisions will be permanently replaced by an undeniable clarity. Doors that have been rusted shut for a decade will begin to swing open without you having to force them. You will walk into rooms and instantly recognize the divine connections that heaven placed there for you, because your receiver is finally tuned to the correct frequency. The enemy thought this long season of delay would break you. They thought burying you in isolation would starve your spirit and make you give up on your calling. But they did not realize they were not burying you, they were planting you. You have been absorbing the nutrients of the deep soil, gathering the immense strength required for a massive generational harvest. Now the waiting is over and the divine activation is here. We are about to enter the final ritual to lock this frequency into your daily reality. The sacred sealing is preparing to begin, and heaven requires your absolute focus. If you walk away now, you risk reopening an exit that God has already permanently sealed. If you leave right before the final declaration, you are walking out of the room right before your name is called to receive the blessing. Stay exactly where you are, because the generational cycle ends right now. Stop for a moment and breathe this in. The time for running is over, and the time for claiming your restoration is here. I want you to pause right now and whisper the words I receive. That simple act of physical agreement seals the decree of heaven directly into your spirit. Type the words "I let go of what was never mine" to carry in the comments below to officially release the burdens of the past. You are breaking the generational cycle, and the darkness has officially lost its grip on your mind. If this message has been a balm to your exhausted spirit, hit the like button right now. Do not do it for this channel. Do it so this exact frequency can reach another chosen one who is struggling in silence. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because heaven is preparing your next set of instructions and you must be ready. And now, standing in this profound place of clarity, if your spirit confirmed what was described earlier about the mind, the door has not closed. Walk through it from this place of peace, not from the noise of the world. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine waking up 14 days from now. The heavy fog that has been sitting behind your eyes for months is completely gone. The prayer that felt like it was hitting a wall is finally landing, and the decision you have been circling is perfectly clear. That version of you is not hypothetical, it is the reality thousands of people describe after their receiver is restored. You have my permission to invest in yourself today, because chosen ones spend their entire capacity covering everyone else while treating their own healing as an extravagance. Now we come to the last door. The door I named earlier has not moved, and everything that was waiting behind it, your genius switch, is exactly what it was when I first described it. It is $39 to walk through a guarantee that costs you nothing to try, and 4 powerful pieces of provision waiting on the other side. $39 is simply the gap between what you are and what you were designed to operate as. The path to it is in the description below and in the comment pinned to this video. For the spirit asking what comes next, there is a second door called youthful brain, and it will find you. Do not leave your breakthrough waiting on the table. When the sun sets and we cross into August 30, this specific window is permanently closed. The door is shut and the celestial alignment moves on. But the clarity and the power you reclaim during these 3 days will remain yours for the rest of this season. Walk in your divine authority, protect your frequency, and watch your destiny unfold.